are here this week with Kathy Crosby, a member of this congregation since 2017. And Kathy, your father, a longtime member of this congregation and very well beloved by this congregation, Paul Pieper. He was born into this congregation and died a member. So for 98 years, he passed away this summer, and we just had his funeral in July. And so I am wondering if you can express for us, how did you experience God during that funeral and during the funeral luncheon afterward?
Well, goodness, I think actually experiencing God, especially through the wonderful members of St. Paul, started, I think, back when he, was in the hospital, and then when he went to rehab, and then his 14 months at Mason Christian Village, with the cards and the phone calls that he would receive, your visits and phone calls. And then also, there was not a Sunday ever that at least one person did not ask me how Dad was doing. And then when it looked like it was going to be a permanent placement at the nursing home, so many would say, "How's your dad?" And then they would say, "And how are you?" And they would listen so kindly, would be a good word. I mean, I've always wondered how people without a church home manage to have a beautiful homegoing celebration for their family members. Walking into St. Paul on a Sunday is almost like a family reunion, or I guess that describe, it's just like, oh yeah, I get to see all these people again, and it's so warm and it's so welcoming, even for longtime members. I'm sure they sense that. I know Dad always looked forward to going to church, and when I would go to thank people for what they had, their participation in the service, and they would say, "Oh, it was an honor. It was a privilege. I'm so happy to be able to help." They were just giving. And then, oh my gosh, the luncheon, and it was just a really good time to, I guess, sort of decompress, to just be able to be there with friends and family and not have to worry about anything other than getting that fork to my own to my mouth. Just being able to visit with people in a very relaxed environment, but also a very loving environment. Whether or not that they were actually physically serving at the luncheon, or if they had taken the time to bake a cake or bring a salad, or um, you know bring the macaroni and cheese, or whatever part of the luncheon that they had a hand in. Just that gift of time is really also a gift of love, and God's love. Unbelievable. It was amazing. It was so filled with love, and it just really warmed my heart too, to see member after member after member of St. Paul's be there. We were held up by our faith, and also by the love of God, and the people of St. Paul that were loving us and showing God's love to us.
Amen. Thank you, Kathy, for so clearly articulating what a difference it made for you to be part of this church, what a difference in your dad's life it made to have a church home and a church family, and how he and you were accompanied every step of the way. And you really showed us why it matters. And why it's important to be a congregation, and what a difference we make in each other's lives and God through us. So thank you for being willing to share that, and for encouraging us all, helping us to see God at work among us.
Thank you. for the opportunity. And thank, again, the wonderful people of St. Paul Lutheran Church. They're amazing. The Sunday before Dad passed, church service was over, but I was still there, and my phone rang, and I was in the narthex. And when I saw that it was the nursing home, of course, I answered right away. And the nurse said that Dad had had another severe coughing spell, and his oxygen had dropped down into the 70s. And she basically said, not so many words, that if you want to see your dad, you should probably get there. Needless to say, the tears started, and I think Carol was there, but they all just gathered around me, and they all said, "Do you want us to drive you? And we can drive you, and somebody can bring your car, so you'll have it when you need to leave." And that was just so generous. That was just, such a generous and loving show again of compassion or empathy for another person. It was, they were just wanted to be Jesus again to me.